Today's topics: yesterday's promise, tomorrow's future. Let's dig into it all on today's episode of The Brothaz. Today's topics: yesterday's promise, tomorrow's future. Let's dig into it all on today's episode of The Brothaz. The Brothaz. Antavius Waynes, the Justice. Fred Hawkins, the Conservative.
Fred stepped in, the trio came alive.
Abriel Thompson, the Bleeding Heart.
Late nights, deep talks, the bonds grew tight.
Dr. Lamar White, the Love Doctor, for the Bro Mel segment.
We laugh, we share, spinning life stories, no truth left spare. Brotherhood on air, pull up a chair, three minds, one heart, we're everywhere. Brotherhood on air, we laugh, we share, spinning life stories, no truth left spare. Brotherhood on air, pull up a chair, three minds, one heart, we're everywhere.
My brothers.
What's happening?
We
What's
are
up, man?
with another Friday. Another Friday. Now, Fred, I'm gonna give you an opportunity because I'm not gonna let the app do to you this week what he did to you last week about your attire. I'm gonna give you the opportunity this week to go ahead and stand up and let everybody see what you got on.
I ain't gonna stand up because
What you're honoring.
He gonna show
what
he
you're
got
doing.
sleeves.
while I am looking at the Miss Angie Stone, I get you guys everywhere I go. People love this shirt, y'all. Everywhere I
It's a
go,
cool shirt.
everywhere I
shirt.
go.
And then you see D'Angelo over there on to her left.
Yeah,
Yeah. Isn't that something though, man?
Sad, man.
Isn't that something though?
Yeah, I designed that shirt. It was actually already designed, so let me not take credit. It was already designed, but she lost the design, and I literally went online and got pictures of each and every one of those people and redesigned that entire shirt. So you'll see the difference between the original and mine if you are a fan that has both. But yeah, that we lost Angie, and of course she decided that she needed her baby daddy with her. So she reached down and plucked the flower out of the garden called D'Angelo.
Hey.
Angie and D'Angelo had a really, really interesting relationship, and but it was it was one of those love, what you call them? What's that? The movie Love Jones,
Love
Jones type
Oh.
of relationship.
Frankie, is that Frankie?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I enjoyed the fact that I was able to say that I was in the periphery to be able to see some of that. But tonight we are here with you, brothers. I see Clark Atlanta University is being well represented.
Homecoming coming up.
1
week away.
All right. Hey,
1
listen,
week away. It's the countdown.
how long is it away?
A week.
A week.
This time next week, we
I mean, actually, they're gonna start Monday.
We're gonna
You know how
be
ACC
gonna
News
be
do it. You know they're gonna start Monday.
Say what?
we ain't gonna be Ubering around.
We're gonna be out.
And he can't hold his liquor. I need to stop.
Oh,
Damn, Lamar.
Oh, he called that- he-
Shots
two
fired.
shots fired before homecoming. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Big brother Almighty.
You already know who's gonna be right with you.
Fred.
I was gonna say that. Now he gonna try to steal my thunder because he knew I was coming. Hey, Fred, we won't see him after we get there.
Right.
Right
Right,
now,
no,
here
yeah,
y'all go.
we gotta see
Here
it on
y'all
we
go.
gotta see it on the video. Other people real like, hey, I thought we was with Lamar too. They didn't cut us out. You know what I mean? Maybe my 20th year, maybe you'll give me some love.
you might make it.
I might
this
get a
year.
cap.
Your
I might get
20th?
a cap and shot with my big brother. Maybe
Your
you'll-
20th? You might even get a picture with him
okay
on the read.
Without him propping me up. Man. Man.
Hey, you make
hard
Lamar's real, boy. That's just like it. That's it.
Well,
You
your
done some
stock
stuff.
go up. You make Lamar real, bro.
Yeah,
But he very picky in particular who he let on his reel, though.
Yeah.
Wait, I came to homecoming with him and I didn't make the reel.
Had Burger King and all. Hey, Burger King and all.
That is right.
Lamar gonna
I
have a
think I even
building name.
treated. I think I
Hey.
bought the Whoppers.
Right.
Y'all messing around. Lamar gonna have a
Right.
building named after him on campus.
Right.
And what out?
God willing.
I said y'all messing around. Lamar gonna have a building named after him on campus.
Oh man,
God willing.
unless I win the lottery, because Clark want money for them buildings.
Right, man.
Now we call it Clark Lamar University. I'm like, we all know it's in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah, man. Good times coming up.
Hey, absolutely. So talk to me, fellas. Tell me what's been going on with y'all this week, man.
Oh man.
How's your week, man?
Had a week. Man, it is
Y'all know I had a
like
week.
every day just runs into each other, man. All the days just run into each other.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just recording the other day ago.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel that way. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like I love it. I mean, I don't mind ever seeing y'all, but it feels like it just happened.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So,
work.
what we have for hot topics tonight?
Oh man, we had a bunch of things on the agenda. I mean, we could talk about the federal shutdown. You know, that's a big thing going on. But we had a couple that came across. Look, I make no bones about it. I love Jasmine Crockett, and anyone that comes for her,
He does.
like
Me
I
too.
love
Jackson.
Jasmine Crockett. I think she's
Me
brilliant.
too.
I think she's
I
intellectual.
guess we got a bias.
Yeah.
It's a hometown bias because I love Jasmine.
Right. To
It's
be a
another
conservative.
I
Stephen A.
don't love her.
How you
but
gonna love the most
the most
outspoken
Democrat.
real? Well, it's her and Maxine Waters. That's my
her and Auntie Matt, her and Auntie.
That's my congresswoman from Watts. So,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, man, that's crazy. That's my congresswoman from Watts.
Have you ever, man? Hey, man, listen.
I've never
that
met her
lady
before.
is so. That she's
went to her event.
unbothered about any of that foolishness up there, man.
Yeah,
She don't play
she
none- she don't play
the real thing. She a superstar wherever she go. I saw her in L.A. One time.
Really?
Radio.
Yeah, like she controls just everybody. You know how you said her judge Thelma Wyatt Moore Cummings Morris? She's like that. Like wherever she go, your eyes go
Control
to
the
her.
room,
You just know who she is.
and she don't even try.
Nah.
Yeah.
Judge Moore she would never try.
So
You know, they're just those people when they walk into a room, they control the room.
yeah,
They don't try, they just do.
Mhm.
And she was one of those people, and it sounds like Auntie Maxine is similarly one of those
Polarizing.
people.
yeah.
Very polarizing. So on this hot topic, do y'all want to do to cue it up? I'm assuming you just want me to just hit it.
Just hit it, man. I think he's gonna speak for himself.
But I don't know.
Can we make them brother of the day?
Brother of the day. All right, brother. You learned that through Jack and Med, or something. Apple. What you talking about?
Brother of the
I
day
listen
should
to-
become
listen,
an
man.
honorary. You
Really?
got somebody the ass of the day. That's
Right.
They ain't doing what they supposed to be doing.
Let me open it.
That's my girl.
All
Her
right.
and Abby.
Tell me what's your hot topic? Got me hooked like I can't stop it. Every word, every drop it. Feels like love, feels like love.
On CNN.
Stephen A. Smith is in some hot water. He made some comments about Jasmine Crockett in the way she expresses herself.
Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect intelligent women, no doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituents. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas.
Ooh.
Man, how much he get paid?
Look,
Quite a bit.
whether you agree with this gentleman or not, the bigger issue is, why do we have to reprimand our people in front of the world to see, right? Why?
That's your position.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like I said, I think what he said was ultimately, it was just disgraceful. It was beneath him, and what he
Wow.
said could have. It's just, I don't know. I can't even take him seriously.
Hey,
I just can't take him seriously.
but that's always been Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
You know, that's just who he is.
I love an
You just,
opinion, but
you just listen. Say what you want, Jasmine. Anytime somebody speak the truth hurt. And I'm a fan, but a big believer that just because you look like me don't mean you are like me. I don't know what his agenda is. I don't know. I disagree with what he said. I mean, but he can have his own opinion.
And that's just what it is. It's an opinion. It's an opinion on a strategy or approach.
Yeah.
And for him to couch that all in, let me dumb it down, or let me sugarcoat it. We know that the president of the United States, he don't respect anything but power.
Exactly.
So you got to come at him how he's coming at everybody else. Her personality, her smarts, her wits. I mean, that all those things are excellent and above board. So you want to have a concern, or you want to say something about her strategy. Okay, that's all well and good. With all that being said, it doesn't matter if she came in there subservient, bowing down, or whatever. They're still going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is tell the truth, be real with your constituents who actually put you in office, and represent and talk the way she talked, because that's what needs to be said.
Yeah.
And it's two people, just like the minority leader of the House, Jeffries. Bruh is just, I can't even call him a brother, because he ain't standing on business. He's not standing. He's meek and mild, and that ain't gonna get nothing done.
Yeah.
So somebody, that's Hakeem Jeffries. At some point in time, somebody gonna have to step up and do something. And the only person I see doing it is, like I said before, the Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxine, and Jasmine Crockett. I mean, they are the only two that are really saying what needs to be said, unfiltered, because it needs to be said. Now,
I'm gonna take an exception and give a shout out to my Congresswoman, the Honorable Nikema Williams. And Nikema does an incredible job here for the mighty fighting fifth district of Georgia and Atlanta, and does a great job of keeping us informed as well. So I would add Nikema to that list. It's interesting though, we're the brothers. And when we thought about the people to add to the list of those who we believe are speaking truth to power, they were women. The ones that you thought were not really doing the best job, Brother Lamar, was a brother.
exactly.
That's very embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing. But hopefully we can move on beyond this and fight together to try to address it and ameliorate the issues that we have that are creating it. We have a hot topic tonight and a probably really eager guest to bring in. So I bet I can imagine the gentleman probably wanted to understand why he could not chime in for hot topics. So, but that's our format always. But tonight, can somebody tell us what we're talking about tonight?
Yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about sins of the father. Definitely the non-custodial father.
Ooh.
Just a few different things. So non-custodial fathers experience stress from financial responsibilities, court proceedings, and the emotional burden of separation from their children. Common stressors include anxiety about their child's well-being and missing milestones, conflict with the co-parent, and feelings of loss and helplessness. Sometimes on our show, we do kind of talk about wellness. And I'll be honest with you, I probably have a whole lot to say in this episode. But I think it's important, not just for me and my wellness, but for other brothers out there who don't really speak up. And that's part of our problem sometimes. We internalize so much. So not to give away too much of what this show is going to be about, we are going to talk about sins of the father, the burdens that a father kind of carries sometimes that he doesn't always share, that he holds in. So that's what we're going to talk about after this commercial break.
When you're too hot or your nights are too cold, call heating and air conditioning. Cause what I've always been told, when your HVAC system is on the blink, call George is what I think. Before you even hang up the phone, it's George from Heating and Air Conditioning.
Call us today to get your heating and air conditioning system serviced.
Hi guys, this is your girl Trina Braxton, a proud licensed real estate agent with Howell Luxury Group Realty. Since joining HLG, I've been able to realize that the real estate world is a different place and HLG is an expert. Allow us to help you make your next home purchase one of the best decisions ever. You'll have your forever home and HLG will have yet another satisfied client.
It's no secret. There is no place in the world like Clark Atlanta. And no matter where alumni are across the globe, when October rolls around, the legends come home. What if we made homecoming even bigger? What if we tripled the number of tents available? Space for everybody. Block off Beckwith Street. More room, more ways to celebrate the way you want to celebrate. I'm talking space for every alumni. And we're raising the bar on safety and security. This is more than a tailgate. This is CAU Homecoming reimagined. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. There's no place like home.
I did. This is true. It's true, my friend.
Take it back. Give it. Take it back.
All right.
All right. Tonight we have a special guest, right, Laura?
Yes, we do. We have George Stevens. We call him Big Meech. He's from Mobile, Alabama. He's a Clark Atlanta University grad. He is an entrepreneur. He owns his own heating and air condition company. He does a great job. He's worked on my house a number of times for the free, but he won't do it for you for free. He's a scuba diver. He's a pilot, a drum major. He's a technical college professor, and he's also a man of A5A. And I'm gonna leave that right there. But let's go ahead and
welcome. He might tell y'all some stories about me pledging.
Boy, this may take a whole other turn on this
show.
Might take a whole
other turn. You can't leave me, man. You can't leave me. No,
I'm not trying.
What happened?
Technical difficulties. I don't know what happened.
There we go. There we go. All right, George is back with us, y'all. George is back with us. So I'm excited to do more listening and talking because this is a topic that I'm really interested in. And I understand that during the production meeting, y'all had a rousing conversation. So I'm here to listen. Y'all tell me what I need to do.
So, all right, I guess I'll kick it off. When we talk about the non-custodial parent, which for a lot of years has always been the father, right? And as a father, people don't understand that there are a lot of things that we don't voluntarily share out that we're going through as a non-custodial father. People don't understand some of the traumas that we deal with. It could be something being on child support, right? Nobody knows the struggle. And for a father who's trying not to be considered a deadbeat dad, that's a lot of pressure, right? And you can also imagine,
Most definitely.
Yeah. And then you look at the fact that if the child support is so astronomical before they looked at both incomes, that he can barely make that child support. So just to survive, he has to work 2 jobs, right? And God forbid if he's in another relationship or another marriage or something like that. But he has to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. So now he's going to miss out on a lot of milestones that his child is probably having. And that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of mental stress on a person Now it may work differently for parents who understand co-parenting and understand working together in those instances, but a lot of times that is not afforded, right? And so men a lot of times carry this inside, and carrying this trauma inside sometimes mold that person to who they are becoming, whether it is bitter, whether it is, listen, I'm just gonna have to wait till she's old enough so I can tell her the things I went through. I kept a journal, right? Because God forbid if I had passed away earlier, my daughter would never know anything about me. She'd never know the times that I would drive from Memphis to Atlanta to see her. Only thing she's gonna know is my dad wasn't there.
So
Right.
when did the relationship with the mother turn so sour? Because I mean, at one point you loved each other clearly.
Yeah. Well,
When
I
did it
think
turn
that
so sour that now you're thinking that she would destroy your legacy with your child?
Well, I can answer that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The problem on that, dealing with my uh significant other at the time, or my son's mother, or my child's mother. Of course, I have two. You have a lot of people that are in her head, that was in her head, trying to teach this, and was destroying our relationship. For number one, her and I was staying together, had an apartment together, but she was too close to some of her family member. I decided to get something on across town at Union City, and explained everything to the lady. Had an extra key for the to the office, had an extra key, and was waiting. And I told her simply, you just come here, let's move here, because you're too close to the family. Well, of course, the family was in our business again and listened to it. And towards the end, she really figured out that this was our apartment. By that time, I was, moving, uh, partially in school, and numerous things that was happening in my life too, and also trying to do the child support and some of the things you saying, trying to to take care of that at the same time, so which
Right.
brought a lot of problems. And then we both started dating someone else here and there, and the main thing that brought us to that way was the family members, or some of the family members, was in her head, and some was in mine too.
So you're saying that your respective family members kind of helped create the divide. Was that
Yeah.
the same thing with yours, Aparicio?
I won't say no. That wasn't necessarily the case. I think for me, and listen, one thing I will say is my child's mother is a great mother to my daughter, right? I think us being young, I think I wanted to do my music, bro. I wasn't ready, and having a child made me grow up. So I think in trying to figure it out, right? I think, was there some bitterness? Of course, right? There was some bitterness. If you know me, I wasn't looking to be in a relationship. I was just looking to do my music. But what's more important than those dynamics is, over the years, the things that I'd never shared with a lot of people, and I didn't share it. So you're talking about years of carrying it. You're talking about years of the infamous words that a custodial parent would say to a father. Well, you're not gonna see the child if you can't pay, right? Those things can be very traumatic in itself. And so what do? You try to make sure you're making that child support payment. You're trying to make sure you can see. And it's not just to put mines on display. It's the focus for me is those emotions and those feelings that men tend to keep in, that go through these types of situations. It can make you bitter. It can make you feel like, you know what? Like I said earlier, there was a moment, if it wasn't for the strong women in my family, that I wanted to give up, bro. Like, I wanted to just be like, yo, this is too much. So I had to choose between my sanity and my health, or dealing with the issues that I'm dealing with.
Is
Right?
there
And
any
the stress
advice?
of that.
Is there any advice you could give young people that are going through that, young fathers where you were at that time? Is there any, like, good advice you could give in general that will work?
Yes.
You
One of
do.
the things that
I'd like to ask both of you guys that question.
yeah, that's real. One of the things that I wish I would have done, I wish somebody had told me, was to join a young fatherhood program or speak with a counselor. One of the things that I did wrong is talking to my friends who didn't have kids and were single, and I should have talked to older men, people who had lived experience and been through those to know how to manage my emotions so that they didn't come out negative, knowing how to find that balance. So that's my advice. Like, you try to figure out on your own, and sometimes we still try to figure out things on our own rather than really asking somebody. But men, in Tavis, well, all three of you, because we study the same thing, men have an ego and a super ego, and sometimes that super ego just gets in the way, and our pride gets in the way because you want to be seen as a man, and then you don't want that stigma. My battle was I didn't want to be looked at as a deadbeat dad. I didn't want to be that statistic that most people see, and so my fights were a little bit different. Sometimes it could have been harsh. There were also some good times and good moments. One of the things I can say throughout those years, and it took a long time for us to get there, where when I was married previously, if things wasn't right in my household, I was so adamant about my daughter always seeing a stable foundation of family that I could call my child's mother and say, listen, let me double up the next 2 weeks because this is not a good weekend. We have things going on. And we would work that out. So we got to a point, but it was years later when we matured.
Right.
But even then, it always felt like I had to walk on eggshells, right? Even then, nobody knew what I was dealing with. Nobody knew that, yeah, it's hell in my household, but it's hell in my household because all my check is gone. So I'm working 2 and 3 jobs to maintain, right? And I'm trying to go pick you up, ask my wife then if she can watch the baby or any of those things. That's a lot of pressure. So when you're barely making it, barely surviving, and you can see the other side steady progressing, right? It's a lot. So nobody knew the things and the luggage that I carried on my shoulders just because I wanted to be viewed as a man that's trying to take care of his child.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And so, um, and George, I pass this to you. Um, in those situations, what's more important is how were you feeling during those times? Like, what was going on with George?
Well, number one, I want to commend you out also because you said that your child mother was really good, and my two have been good mothers to my kids too. I want to give them thumbs up as well. And I don't think I could have picked two other ladies that's been as good as those two. Man, I appreciate you for bringing that up too, App. Most definitely. Okay, thumbs up. Um, well, one thing that I know that I could have been doing as I look at everything, the suggestion I would get to for the newcomers are take time for yourself to think about whom you are first. And when you realize whom you are first, then you'll be able to do what you need for your child. Like there are a lot of men out there trying to be the best stepdad. Wait a minute, if you be the best dad now, you're gonna be also the good stepdad as well. If you have kids and date a woman who does not have, who has kids and you don't, you're trying to be the best step. No, it's cool you don't have any kids, but the main thing is within you. There are situations that I know I could have done better by trying. There are a lot of things that I could have done better.
Yeah.
Thanks to my family, my father and my mother and my sister, my best friend. Was my support too. And you're going to need strong support for having a child outside of wedlock. Even when you are married, you're still going to have a lot of issues, but you guys in that same household, and you're able to work things out a lot better. It appears to work out a lot better than just separate households, because I've watched my father and my mother raise two. Well, my sister was the knucklehead and I was the good, something like that. Yeah, right.
I have a question, Antavius.
Yeah.
In your experience as an attorney and before you did the entertainment law, you did family law, right? What was some of the experience that you witnessed some of your clients go through when dealing with custody battles I remember one time you had to serve as guardian ad litem and all those things. What are some of the things that you experienced? Because people don't know,
Yeah.
you know. And I've been with you and I've seen grown men break down over this.
I'm glad you asked, because I was really just sitting here as both you and George were talking, and I was just sitting here saying, "What bullshit." I mean, because are we gonna talk about sins of the father? We gonna talk about sins of the father. I mean, now when y'all had your production meeting, y'all said that y'all were going to speak freely about your experiences. I represented both of you.
Yeah.
And I remember the conversations that we had.
All three.
Well, right. I remember the conversation. I'm talking about George. Fred hadn't said anything that George and App had about at the time how difficult it was to communicate with the mother of the child. So we can't come on now and sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, she's the greatest woman ever." Well, she's the greatest woman ever. Why is she not your wife today?
I'm getting to there. I was getting there. I just didn't want to talk too long.
For me, it was more about the things that a father goes through and holds in. It wasn't so much about the relationship piece. The relationship, if I focus on that, I'm never going to address what it is that I'm internalizing, right? Regardless of her.
Internalizing?
Huh?
What are you internalizing?
Well, that's what we're talking about. The things, and not just me personally, but I can share my feelings and my feelings, but it's also things that a lot of men go through, a lot of non-custodial fathers go through and deal with. Here's one thing. Not when your child grows up in separate homes, right? There will be a disconnect, an emotional disconnect sometimes, right?
Right.
For me, it's a double whammy. So I live with not watching my daughter being born, right? I never know what that experience is. So when I see people at the hospital, they holding their child for the first time, I'll never know what that is. That is something that I carry inside.
Where were you?
At the age that I am now.
So
Huh?
why weren't you there?
Yeah, where were you?
I was in Memphis. So when she went in labor the first time, I drove that. Well, I caught a flight here to Atlanta. I was living in Memphis at the time. I caught a flight here, but then they call it false pregnancy. They could have induced the labor where she could have been born on the 26th, which would have been my birthday. Well, mind you, I'm barely making it and barely living, so I went back because my flight was due back that day. So I flew back to Memphis, and then she went in labor again 2 days later. I didn't have another $800, $900 to catch a flight. I didn't.
Right.
So not having that, well, somebody can say on the outside looking in, "Oh, you should have been there. Why wasn't you there?" What I carry with me is, I wish I was in a better situation so I could have afforded to do it.
Right, but I don't think what
But
you heard from me or Lamar was that we were challenging you or
no, not at all. I think, and this is just on the outside looking in, everything I know about anything is going to be about communication, right? And you said something, and it was like the labor could have been induced on a certain day, but it seems like the labor was induced once you left. So it was like it was purposeful. It was purposeful for you not to be there. And those are the things that we really need to talk about. It's
There
not
you
really
go.
anybody under the bus. It's really like I've been sitting down and just listening.
No, but you're right though. You're right.
Because and I know that you guys might be in great places with the mothers of your kids, but for me, it seems like she purposely made sure you weren't there for the birth of your daughter, and that is one thing for me. Somebody that doesn't have kids, it's unforgivable. And that's what you had to
What
deal
you're
with.
saying is
That was your
absolutely
whole
right.
life.
The words that were said was, "I don't want her born on his birthday."
Wow.
So
that was purposeful.
because
Then
technically
what
my
Lamar
daughter
said is
was
correct then, huh?
she was going to be born on the 26th.
So
She
then
was
what
born
Lamar
2
said is
days
correct.
later. So that could possibly be
Yeah.
right, you know?
But I thank God that I had a chance to hold my son. I've had one chance for that. Because I was here in Atlanta as well. Now my daughter, I was in Mobile at the time, and I did not get a chance to hold her or see her. She called me like the day or 2 days after she had the child. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? I've gone to the classes with you, I've gone with this with you, and you're gonna sit there. Well, I just only wanted my sister. I'm sitting there like, oh wow. And my daughter and I, we have a relationship, but it's not that awesome.
That's what I want to ask
Um,
y'all. Yeah, so do you all believe that the relationships that you have with your children now are based on the relationships that you had with your children's mother?
No.
no,
So
no.
you don't believe that the mother influenced the relationship that you have with the
I
child?
mean, my daughter,
Oh, yeah.
most definitely, yes.
That's what I'm saying. Do you believe
Yeah.
that
Yes.
though? That do you believe that if if you and the mother had a better relationship, that you and the child would have a better relationship today?
Well, one thing I tried to do, get a better relationship with her, with the mother. She will always come up with excuses, always say this, always says that, barely answer the phone. Even when I moved back to Atlanta. So I tried to do those things. I tried to do everything that I could do, including drive from Atlanta after I did move back to Atlanta eventually, and drive back to Mobile numerous of times. My parents has even called in, and she always had excuses of why my daughter could not come by, and the
But
hate
no,
that.
no, no. But I'm to give her my question. My question is, do you believe that your relationship would have been better with your daughter if the relationship was better with your daughter's mother?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. To answer,
Okay.
yes, yes,
How about
yes.
you,
Oh,
Al?
yes.
Say what?
How about
So
you?
so this is my thing. These double standards show up in society all the time.
That's right.
You all know this. My father
Mm-hmm.
raised me. My mother at some point, I believe it was when I was like 5, she was addicted to drugs. My pop stepped in. He has 21 kids, but he stepped in. We were the first two. Myself and my older brother were the first two of his kids that he had to raise. So he stepped in. He did his job. There's no applause for that's needed. He did what he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
However, the difference was my dad made sure I seen my mom, and my dad never said anything negative about my mom.
Ha!
So there's this double standard because if we were the primary parent, we would be the ones that wouldn't say anything negative about the mother. Even to this day, you guys have
Mm-hmm.
had your experiences that you guys have had, and Fred, you're gonna chime in at some point, and you guys are not saying anything negative because that is how you guys were cultivated.
Yeah.
However, the things that were probably said about you to your kids behind your back, oh, your daddy not this, your daddy not that, the fact that you weren't able to be there because she possibly didn't want your child to be born on your birthday so you guys can have that kinship. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's so, I don't want to say fair because like my daddy said, fair is a place where people go. But it's just something that we need to work on in the African American community when we talk about kinship and partnership and all these particular things.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're
The
You
absolutely
truth,
know
correct.
what's
right?
funny?
It's difficult to sometimes state that truth. It's difficult sometimes, like I said earlier, like that walking on eggshells. You want to say your truth, but your truth gonna land you right back in court, right back in a custody battle, more child support. You can't afford an attorney. I was fortunate to know my attorney.
Yeah, me too.
God forbid had I not known my attorney. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
God forbid. I wouldn't be able to afford it.
yeah.
When you're sitting there and if you looking at your pay stub and it has like $40 out of a 40, out of you know what I'm saying, out of your check, got a $40 left out of it.
From LA to ATL, we're setting the scene for every dreamer with a spotlight dream. Contracts and clauses, we got it on lock. With a robust roster, with the cream of the crop. Brands and icons, we help them rise. Together we shine, reaching new highs. Entertainment law, we've got the flair. Weaves, the name that they know. In the road, all the stars, we make the glow. From LA to ATL, we're setting the scene. For every dreamer with the spotlight dream. When you're too hot or your nights are too cold, call heating and air conditioning. Cause what I've always been told, when your HVAC system is on the blink, call George is what I think. Before you even hang up the phone, it's George from Heating and Air Conditioning.
Call us today to get your heating and air conditioning system serviced.
and just for me, in my experience, I don't know if I ever have that father-daughter bond that I want or that I feel I desire. Um, there moments that me and my daughter would talk, yeah, but there are weeks I don't hear from 'em. And I contribute some of that sometimes when I'm just sitting with myself. Like Fred, you mentioned earlier, you blame we should blame us. Well, you do, but when you go through that cycle, right, and you start thinking about everything you sacrifice in your dreams and goals to not be that deadbeat father, to try to do everything you can, and you don't get the reciprocation of love and that disconnect. And for a long time, I don't know the scientific proof or theory of that. I think there's a difference when someone is able to hold that child when that child is first born, and also those first few years of that child developmental stage of that child. There's a bond that is built right there, and there's a small window to get that feeling.
Yep.
I don't have it, and I don't know if I would ever have it. Do I think my daughter loves me? Yes, but there is an emotional detachment between us.
Yeah.
I feel it, and it took a long time for me to even come out and just say that's what I feel. I would still try to do things. If my daughter called me, I'm going to try to be there the best of my ability. But does it hurt sometimes that I got to force a hug or you have to force a conversation? You don't get that father-daughter you don't get that bonding that you want from a child sometimes. I know my daughter loves me. Make no mistake about it. But there is still that disconnect. Now, also, like me and a lot of fathers, you go through these periods where you feel like, dang, you just love me for the financial piece, right? Do you only love me when you're asking me for money?
Yeah.
Do you ever call to say, hey, how you doing? I just want to check on you. Those are things that sometimes that non-custodial father doesn't get. And so I'm sharing my experiences and some of the things that I've gone through and some of the things I carry to this day because I know there are a lot of fathers. I talk to a lot of fathers that go through that, right? That's a critical piece. And so to your point, Antavius, earlier, yes, that early on relationship between the mother and the father, depending on if it was bitter, if it was facetious, or if it was loving, there's a different outcome to all of those. And then there are the things. I was mad as hell having to go through child support because if I didn't have it, my family had it and going to make sure that money never wanted for anything. But a lot of times I didn't tell my family I didn't have it. I would just struggle. I would just go work too. I'm working at the bank. I'm working at Best Buy. And I'm starting to say y'all name because y'all ain't subscribing and sending no marketing money in. But I'm working at these jobs and I'm barely living. There's times that I drove from Memphis on suspended license several times because you got to choose. I got to choose making sure I make this child support payment so I don't go to jail. And my car has been the repo man out looking for my car. That is stressful, right? And so years you go through that, trying to make sure that one, you're not looked at as a statistic. Two, that you're trying to have whatever time you can have with your child or children. And when you get over that hump, there's still that disconnect, right? People say your child support may stop, but the fatherhood doesn't. But there's a difference in that relationship when money is coming in every month like it should or like it's expected to. There's a different type of love, right? There's a different type of emotional thing that's there than when they start to matriculate. Now, what I also learned, I'm gonna let you chime in, Michi, on what you want to say is I had to talk to other fathers because there was a moment where my daughter was in high school, right? And I was like, dang, she just not want to talk to me at all, right? But there's a period that in high school, I don't know, I think it's, and Lamar, you may know from your work that you do, and I want to say I think it's that 15 to 16 where there's just like a straight up disconnect. And I don't know it's because they're going through
It's adolescence. Yeah. It's just
adolescence and all that kind of stuff. And they enter their friends and boys and all this stuff. You don't even exist.
Yeah.
But then there's a moment that it comes around. So I I tell you one thing that happened, man, that broke my heart, and Taylor, I think I told you this. My daughter, when she got to South Carolina State her freshman year, she called me and she was like, "How much am I worth?"
Oh.
She was like, "Well, I know you send child support," and I'm like, "What do you mean? How much are you worth?" She said, "Well, my roommate states she get X, Y, and Z a month in child support that she gets." She's like, "So how much am I worth?" The fact that my daughter would equate my love to her as a dollar sign messed me up. But I was fortunate enough that over those 18 years, I kept a journal. And I said, the moment my daughter is ready to talk and ask me about certain things or why I wasn't here or why I couldn't be here or why I wasn't at the games and stuff, then I will let her read that journal and then we'll have that conversation. So I told her when she came home for Father's Day, she was home that weekend and we went out. And she said, "So we're going to talk about how much I'm worth?" And I gave her that journal. I said, "I want you to read this, and then we'll have that conversation." Because I wanted to make sure she understood she's priceless. There's no amount of money that my, that to even think that, to even fathom that, it lets you know. And so when I say that disconnect, that emotional disconnect, my relationship was equated to a dollar sign to me.
How
much
do you think youth played in that? Oh.
Huh?
How much do you think youth played in that though?
I could have played a lot. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I know that I would say if you call and ask me for some additional money outside of my child support, I was probably like, I ain't got it because I didn't have it. I would borrow money.
Yeah.
To do certain things. Hell, I borrowed money from you to do some things for my daughter during some of those times, and that's just real talk.
Well, at this point, let's go ahead and get our guests George and Fred, brother, go ahead and chime in.
Yeah.
With your thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, there were times where I was really freaking afraid to even go to get my son because when I go to my son, go to his house, she would try to call the police and sit there and, "Oh, you all looking for him." It made me frightened. I was afraid, and when I finally got a hold to him, so now here's the court order saying she has to do this, but now she runs out of town with my son. Well, no, before that even happened, I would go and try to pick him up, but she would set it up to go to Chuck E. Cheese Pizza and have all the friends there and say, "Oh, I keep telling the judge he doesn't want to go with you," and or have her buddies come over to his house or their house and, "Oh, well, I keep telling the judge don't want to go with you," or tell him, until one time he got tired of her saying that, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm tired of you." He came and told me this personally. "I'm tired of mama always tricking me that my friends coming over the time I'm supposed to be coming to see you."
Wow.
So, but now here she comes running to Florida and turn around and having a child by another guy, which, okay, outside the race, no problem. This guy threatened my son's life.
Wow.
Say what?
You heard me. That boy threatened my son's life. I was in Mobile. I went to Mobile. After I went to Mobile and I heard that, I didn't know where I was going. I hopped on I-10 and I started going to Florida. I didn't know exactly where it was. I drove for about an hour and a half. My parents kept calling. They called me back on the phone. And they said, "Okay, come on back, son, because we had an agreement. And then we're going to keep Kendall for, they kept Kendall about 2 to 3 months, man."
Wow.
I took my tail back to Mobile. I stayed for about a week, and I had to come back to Atlanta. Now, watch this. As Kyle got older, she tried that same with that young boy. Kendall ended up having the doggone come and stay with me for 6 months. That was sent her to jail.
And that's the thing about the legal system. The legal system is not going to work for men, but it's damn sure not going to work for African American men. And I can see that.
And you realize this? He was the store manager or the manager for one of the cell phone companies. You know what his child support was? At
Look,
the beginning, 150. You know what mine was? Over $800 until Antavius came in and helped me.
$800
for one child.
What, child support?
Yes.
Huh? Me too, and that does not include the insurance you got to carry. By
Yeah.
the way, yeah, the non-custodial parent carries the insurance, buddy.
So it frightened me everywhere I went. I couldn't hardly get a job sometimes, but they said, or buy a new car, which I need. Oh, you have child support. Wait a minute. What does that have to do with, so there are a lot of times that hit me in my face, and I couldn't really do that too much. But yes, I still see things that I could have done better too. So,
Yeah.
those are differences, some of the differences I've gone through and my feelings I've gone through being
You
a
want to know? You want to know my
non-custodian.
truth? One of my truths is that even after everything, right, I still don't feel like I did enough as a father.
Wow.
I feel like this disconnect. So to your point, Fred, blaming me, I went through that. I still feel like I didn't do enough. So what is it that I didn't do? What is it that I'm missing to not have that love of a daughter?
But
And
App, I goes back to you said that there is something that has to do with some type of connection, and it's actually, I don't know if it's 2 minutes after the baby is born or 5 minutes after the baby is born, where they set the baby on the mother's chest, and they had like that bonding time. But also, it's supposed to be some bonding time for the male, and you weren't able to be there. I'm telling you, if you had that connection, you had that opportunity to hold your daughter when she was born, then you would have a connection to her, but you didn't have that ability. And
Wow.
I think it's just sad that
Yeah.
someone was that, I'm going to say evil. You didn't.
Mischievous.
Mar White said that somebody was that evil to keep you away from the thing that you help procreate, the thing that you help bring into this world. That is, like I said before, is unforgivable.
That's something happened with my daughter as well. Most definitely. And I was in town.
I mean, I've had some very dark stages, bro. Like for real. I mean, and still, you got to walk out and put that smile on your face.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the hurt that you go through. Nobody knew the hurt I was
They
going
don't
through.
care, man. Come on, man. They think men not supposed to cry.
Unless you even heard, I got songs I've written that I've never recorded based on that. You understand what I'm saying?
Really?
That's how I dealt with it. That's how I cope with it. And I never would record them.
Same one.
No.
You want to hear it? Here you go.
Here you go.
I had a baby mama. She had the drama.
You want me to get the guitar?
Drama, man. Listen, I was what, 24, 23, 24 when my daughter was born. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie and say I was the most mature person out there. I wasn't, and I'm sure, I mean, I don't think me or her liked each other during that time. So I get it. But
Boy, y'all had to like each other during that time.
No, Money was born years later. It's a whole story. Boy, we ain't gonna talk about how that even transpired, not on air. But we was together. I mean, yeah. But mind you, my whole focus, I think I was so scared to tell my family I was having a kid. That's how devastating it was for me because I wasn't ready. I was like, it took me so long to get to that point in my music career here in Atlanta, that I knew what I was gonna have to walk away from. And let me tell you why I walked away from it. And this is, I knew that I needed to be in a position to take care of my child.
Right.
Right. I had to be in a position. I think me and Eric was roommates around that time. And I wasn't making no money, dog. I was like struggling. I was trying to do door-to-door sales. People dropped me off at Forsyth. I was doing everything, working in Cumberland Mall, at a clothing store. I wish they had Uber around there. Shoot, I was doing whatever I could do to make $1 just because I knew that child support was gonna come. I worked just to make sure I can pay that child support. And even still, there were times I got behind. Hell, I paid the arrears twice. Thanks to Maximus. But it's an emotion that you go through, and although, I would hear people say, well, no, you don't fault yourself. You shouldn't have to fault yourself, but it's natural. I do sometimes. I fault myself. I fault myself because did I fight hard enough? Right? Did I position myself what decisions was I focused too much on trying to be a star in music and stuff that I had to alter everything. I only moved back to Memphis that time because the only opportunity that I had to make real income at that time before she was born. I was working through a temp agency to Coca-Cola before I left. I wasn't running from my responsibility, but I knew that I was going to have some insurance.
Right. It's interesting that both of you all went back to your respective homes and then came back to Atlanta.
Because I needed to be around family. I was battling with self. You understand? I need to be around that foundation. And listen, I can tell you when I moved back to Lamar's point, when and a lot of mothers do this to a guy. You tell them that, oh, you're never going to see the child, and your family is not going to know the child, huh? Yo, I packed everything up when that was said to me. I packed everything up and moved back to Atlanta. Me and a car that they're looking for to repo, the little red Saturn I had with a suspended driver's license, moved back to Atlanta and moved in with Jason and Chico. Because I couldn't afford a place to live. And I got they got me a job at AirTouch. Yeah, I mean, before it was Verizon, it was AirTouch.
Yeah.
And I lived in a basement.
Oh, wow, you old, man.
Shut up. And so, but that's me as a father not want to be a statistic, and I want to be a part of my daughter's life. I left everything. And before then, if you needed something, I was sending $500 this week, $300 this week. Every week I was sending stuff.
But
boxes
you
of
were
clothes
stripping then, weren't you?
for and then let me tell you, I put myself on child support. That's what people don't know. I put myself on child support. Now, what I did not know is that the judge was going to tell me everything I had been doing, since I did not deny
was a gift.
My daughter being my child, that I did what I was supposed to do as a father, and it's considered a gift.
Yeah,
that's
you
what he
gotta
told
grease
me.
that pole before you slide down.
Judge Kruger, Judge Kruger, you up there with Trump? Just know that. In my book, I to this day I remember that judge. I don't like you, and you was wrong. He gonna tell me.
It'll bend over in front of your face.
He looked at my pay stubs, and I was like, "Yo, this is all I got." He gonna tell me, "Well, you need to find another job." I said, "This is why people become drug dealers."
Oh, wow.
You know, I'm trying to do the right thing. I can't afford what you telling me, but you want to go off taxes that I filed the previous year. I don't make that no more. Go off what I make now. Huh?
Can he throw you some dollars?
Throw me something. But I was like, yo, and then I didn't have integrity when I put myself on child support, because I should have. But my attorney, when you're desperate, right? When you're desperate and somebody say, yeah, I'm an attorney. I didn't even know he wasn't even a family attorney. Somebody referred him to me. This dude sitting there with a book this thick. Boy, her attorney told my attorney up. Like for real. After the judge done hit me with everything he hit me with the amount that I don't have working at AirTouch, right? After he hit me with that, Your Honor, the judge says, is that everything? My attorney said, yes, I'm looking at him. And then her attorney says, except for the back child support, my client states that the father hasn't done anything for the child in the first 2 years of the child's life. And I'm like, when y'all discussed that? Where was I at? I brought a shoebox. They reset me. I came back with shoe boxes full of receipts, bro. To show I've been sending. And up under my mom's guidance, make sure you put his child support for your money. Should that judge didn't care? But that's how they do it. And this is something, it's a whole nother topic when we talk about the railroading of fathers through this system of child support.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen.
And I look at these deadbeats, guys who don't do nothing, coming in court getting slaps on the wrist. Man, yeah, I carry a lot, y'all. Boy, we gonna be on here all night, y'all. Give me one. Boy, yeah, I carry a lot. So when I say, because sins of my father to me is something totally, that's a whole nother topic with my dad.
But you know what though? Don't mean to cut you off.
Maybe just looking at us. Whatever.
I instructed my son to go ahead and, I mean, him and his significant others, they're not my grandson, to to go ahead and put himself on child support as well. Before a couple of months after the child was born, because I don't want him to go through what the majority of us has gone through at the same time. So I kind of gave that to him, and I had him to call the right person, the Superman of Superman, to ask questions about it too. So that was my suggestion to him, so he wouldn't follow through the same path of the negative path of it. One follow more of the positive path. So that's why I directed him to a professional, if that makes
What's
sense.
wrong, Tay? And Tavia's got other questions he wants for us.
No,
Lamar,
I'm just listening. I'm just listening. And you got so into your stuff, you didn't realize that I hadn't called you a stripper.
Oh, did
I
you?
said that you was flying down a pole. I said that
Not at
you greased the pole
that
up.
time, but if you'd have called me
Hold on,
back
let me
on
finish. I said that you greased the pole up. I said that
listen,
you bent over in front of
listen,
somebody and
wasn't on
parted
no
his
pole.
face.
No,
And
but
then
as
I
a
said you
start,
let the man give you money. Did I not say
as
all that?
I don't know why he started zipping.
I missed all that.
I know. That
But
goes to show you how far
that's
into
just,
what you were so into it.
But that's like,
yeah.
that there's still some stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff there. I mean, again, if I still feel like the way I feel of having just longing for that bond as a father with your daughter, and I had to live with those memories. I had to live with all those steps and milestones, the good, the bad, the indifference. It bothers me that my daughter doesn't have my last name, bro.
Well,
so, but it's something that I have to live with.
I thought about
I had
it too,
moments.
man, but
I had moments where I wanted to have another. Listen, I had moments that I wanted to have another child just so I can see the child born and be able to hold that baby and raise that baby in my household with
I
me.
think it's an old lady up the street that doesn't have any kids.
A what one? A what?
It's an old lady up the street from me that doesn't have any kids. You want me to call old face?
Me too. Hey, this your first time on the Brothers, boy. You don't want to open that can of worms. But listen, I know there's a lot of people out there, and as I think Michi was talking, or either Lamar was talking, I was looking at understanding there's a lot of times I had anxiety. I'm sure a lot of other men have anxiety, but one of the things, worrying about the child's well-being while not with them at the uncertainty of court decisions is a major source of anxiety. To Antavia's point, conflict, disagreements with the custodial parent over finances, schedules, and decisions are a constant source of stress. And I probably looked at some of this stuff to even be in this field, depression. I know that I went through a lot of depression.
Yeah.
I'm a worry horse. So I know I went through depression, which is the feeling of loss, hopelessness, and sadness can lead to depressive symptoms, especially when facing significant time away from the child. People would think that I don't want to be around my daughter or have my daughter. Sometimes it wasn't even my decision. There are times that I might not know my daughter had an event or a game until the last minute where I can't just take off work at the last minute like that. These are the things that people take in, right? So, and everybody's circumstances, everybody's experiences are different, but I'm just one of many men.
Let me interrupt you to ask this question. Is it fair to say that you believe that your child's mother orchestrated her entire life so that she could not have a bond with you?
I do with my daughter.
Well, that's one person.
Yeah,
I do. I do think there probably was some moments of that. I think that there were some moments where I felt that she may have been groomed to look at me as sort of like a bank that asked your daddy for it.
Right. So
see if he give it to you. And then the letdown when I don't have it or that I can't do it. So it may further solidify.
Sure.
But listen.
But you're in a better place now, right?
I'm always in a better. Yeah, I'm in a better place. Me and my child's mother in a better place.
But I think you're in a better place. But I still think
I make myself be in a better place.
but you need to go talk to somebody, brother.
That's what I was hearing.
You didn't even hear Antavius saying what he was saying because you were telling your story, your truth.
When you see this, did you see this playback?
Yeah, but I mean, listen, well, like here's the thing. Let me say this. My child's mother, I mean, my daughter has never heard me say anything negative about my child's mother, regardless of what we have been through, regardless of any of those things, right? I always wanted my daughter to see a certain type of man because it would be my hopes that that's what she would strive to look for, right? So I've never bashed my child's mother. I even started out saying that my child's mother, regardless of how she was with me, I'm never going to take away that she's a great mother she was a great mother to Imani.
Okay.
So in raising Imani. Now, maybe have there been some things said about me? Maybe I'm not there and see your dad's not going to show up. See, he'll never show up. He don't never come through. Probably so. And could some of that play a part in the disconnect of what we have? Absolutely. Could also, that play a part of I only hear from you when you need money,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Because over the 18 years, if you asking me how much are you worth, and I'm not getting no money, so that's what the dad supposed to do.
Okay.
So it's a lot of things. I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's a history thing. Yes, I know that I probably should talk about it more and talk it out, and I'm trying to get in this place of wellness. The fact that I'm talking about even remotely some of it now, right? For me is a step because I don't talk about my private life.
Okay.
Sometimes you gotta look at what that man has to deal with in a life. We go through stuff. As men, we have to go through stuff. We don't get celebrated on Father's Day the way Mother's Day is, right? I may get a card, pair an old mug that say Happy Father's Day, but you go all out for Mother's Day, fancy dinners and everything else. So, and it is what it is. I've gotten to the point in my life at this age and not trying to let certain things stress me out too much. I'm trying to talk about these things a little bit more, a little bit deeper, because I do recognize you just having a child there and you're not with that parent, the other parent, you're going to hold that in for 18 years. And I'm here to tell you that it is very, very unhealthy. It would mold you and cause you to be something that is not traditionally you. It would make you bitter. So, what you say? Yeah, I should talk to somebody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. There it is. When we get back, we will have Bromel.
Brotherhood. Got a message in my pocket, it's burning my jeans. 1,000 little whispers caught in between. The words we never said, they're echoing clean. Folded edges sharp like a knife. Every crease holding pieces alive. Romeo flying through the air tonight. Written in ink, but it feels so right. Sealed with a laugh and a brother's fight. Romeo, Romeo, hold on tight. Romeo, Romeo, hold on tight.
Break.
I got Bromel. I got Bromel. All right, Dr. Love, you ready? I think this is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Dear Dr. Love, I'm reaching out to you from a place of deep frustration and pain. I'm a father of 2 beautiful children, and co-parenting with my ex-wife has become almost impossible. Something like we talked about earlier, right? Since she remarried, things have gone downhill. Her new husband constantly interferes and has gone so far as to prohibit my involvement with my children's lives. My kids tell me that they don't like him because he's mean, and I can see the effect it's having on them, especially in school and where they have been struggling more and more. What hurts the most is that despite doing everything the court asks of me, I still feel powerless. I pay my child support faithfully, but the moment I fall behind or question anything, I'm threatened with jail time. Meanwhile, I can't even see my own children. the very ones I'm working so hard to support. It feels like the system doesn't recognize the pain or rights of fathers who genuinely want to be present and involved. Dr. Love, I'm angry, I'm hurt, and honestly, I feel guilty every single day for not being there for my kids the way they deserve. I'm trying to hold myself together, but it feels like I'm being punished for wanting to be a father. Please, I'm asking for your advice. How do I navigate this? How do I deal with this anger, this guilt, and the feeling of being shut out of my children's lives? Sincerely, disgruntled father.
Jesus. So this is the reality. A little bit of everything that we've heard tonight was actually said in this anonymous letter. So I'll try to do my best. The first thing you got to do, and I think App talked a lot about this tonight, is take care of yourself, right? So mental health is everything, and your well-being is everything. So you got to make sure that you surround yourself with a system of support. If that's family, if that's friends, if that's a new significant other, then you definitely want to talk to somebody professional, psychologist, psychiatrist, clinical social worker, whoever that's going to be. You want to get you some legal representation as well, right? Because once you have your legal representation, you'll make sure that you are having the minimal. You're going to have as much legal support as you can with little. I'm trying to say this the legal system is not really going to be in your favor. It's always going to be in the favor of the actual parent, and the actual parent that's, taking care of the child. And that's usually going to be the female. So you want to make sure you have your legal rep. Clear communication with respect. Like, that has to be there. No matter what happens, you got to keep the child the focus of everything that you do. So a little bit, it has to be, like your child over your ego, right? So you definitely have to do that. Be responsible and be reliable and present, meaning that if you get the opportunity to speak on the phone, if you get the opportunity to be present, you got to be present. You got to embrace that flexibility, the flexibility of the fact that someone is dictating when you're going to see your child and when you're not going to see your child, and just document it, because at the end of the day, there is a court order, and a court order is saying what you're responsible for, or what you can actually have as far as time is concerned. If she's violating that after so many times, if you documenting that, you give that to your legal rep, and then you let him or her go fight for you. And then with that being said, no matter what she's doing to manipulate that situation, control that situation, and what you document in all those things, then it comes a time when family court will actually bring you back, and they might, reset the rules of that, or you might be able to get custody, because at some point in time, the judge might ask the child, depending on the age, who do you want to go live with? What has your experience been? And if your child then says, hey, and they hate to get the children in the mix of it, but from my understanding, they will, and then that can be benefit you as well. So, like they say, protect yourself at all times, and you do that first and foremost by, again, taking care of your mental health, surrounding yourself with support, getting legal advice, and getting a legal representative. And I know that can be hard, but there are options out there for you. Yeah, man, that's all I got. This is very difficult to even speak about. Not being a father myself, but understanding self, understand how to take care of yourself, both physically, mentally, spiritually, and also legally. That's what I always lead with.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Is anybody else got anything they wanted to share on this one? George, as our guest, then would you like to take this one on?
I totally agree with you, Lamar, because there are some things that I had to go through numerous of those things too. The help, I had to look within myself, and I had to spend some mean time with no music and all of those things. I had to really think about who am I, because if I'm not who I need to be, how can I help my kids from where they are now? So that's why I have been able to speak to the parents, and and I'm in a way better place. I don't get angry about talking about this anymore, but I do know that I am in a much better place than I was before. So thank you. That is most definitely a good advice for everyone as well. I appreciate that too.
All right, Aparicio, anything you'd like to share?
Shit, I think I said enough for the night. What I would suggest is one of the things you should do is join a fatherhood group and get support from other fathers
That's right.
around you. Don't talk to people who don't have lived experiences, but be around a support group, because with that support group come resources.
Yep.
You can't afford an attorney. There are nonprofits out there that may be able to provide you some or help you navigate the system. That would be my advice. And I concur with George and Lamar. Know who you are. You got to know who you are first. Don't make my mistake still trying to find yourself and figure out how to be a father with no help. Can't do it alone.
All right. All right. I'm glad you had a little bit to say, because if you had a lot to say, that would have been a problem.
Open up Pandora's box.
You just real loquacious tonight, Doc. What you got?
Oh, I concur. I think I'm thankful for this topic tonight. It's very informative. Sometimes it's just better to sit back and listen than to provide commentary, and that's what I did. I like to be a student in this because I can learn from the people that have been through it, right? So that's important to me, and I'm always going to protect me, and so I lead with that. But thank you very much for sharing your experience, App, and you too, George. It's been a pleasure.
Most definitely, thank you.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as you see, that's what we do here. We get into the weeds and into the thick of things, and we bring in people who actually live experiences to talk about what they've lived and these types of situations. My name is Antavius, and I'm a brother.
I'm Frederick, and I'm a brother.
Aparicio, the other brother.
I'm Lamar. I'm the love doc and the last brother.
And we got our guest with us, George, who is also our brother.
Our brother.
And we are
the brothers.
The brothers.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
From LA to ATL, we're setting the scene for every dreamer with a spotlight dream. Contracts and clauses, we got it on lock. With a robust roster, with the cream of the crop. Brands and icons, we help them rise. Together we shine, reaching new highs. Entertainment